Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to this weekly update. Today is May 11th. I also want to say happy birthday to my father. His birthday is today. Today is May 11th, 2021. My name is Andre Rainey, and I'm the proud mayor of the great city of Peekskill, New York, and I'm joined by the one and only city manager, Andy Stewart.
Well, I tell you, it's very special to be here today with you, Mayor. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Happy to see you, Andy. You're back in full force.
Yeah, and after my
too long at all, man. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. I'm starting to really believe that the Superman.
resurrection is real, right? After that car accident.
Yeah. So, but welcome back, Andy. It's been a pleasure working with you, and it's a pleasure to know that we'll be able to continue this relationship. So, few great things today. I posted on social media about a week ago that we had a great announcement coming up, and the announcement was made this morning. But before we get into all of that good news, let's talk a little bit about COVID, Andy. Tell us where we are today.
Well, our numbers are continuing to look pretty good as far as COVID. You know, we started this weekly video to keep people updated and to remind them about the health measures we're all taking. So our active rate right now is 48 active cases in the city. It's hovering around the mid 40s the last week or so. That's a number. It's a lot lower than it used to be, as you're aware. We used to have hundreds. The need to maintain, you know, some of these practices, social distancing, masks, and hygiene, it still remains. But nonetheless, the state is reopening and allowing larger and larger group sizes, and the city is moving accordingly. The vaccination rate is coming up. You can actually see on the county website how many people have been vaccinated in the city of Peekskill. Just for those numbers for people to know, you can find this off the city Facebook page. About 758 residents have gotten the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and a total of almost 15,000 people have received some kind of dose, some just a first time, and some second. So that brings us to about 35% of people who are 18 and over, which is, you know, it's a solid third of the population. I will tell you, Mayor, though, that there's a lot of other municipalities that are ahead of us. If you go down through the zip codes available on the county map, you'll see numbers up into the 50s. So we need to keep reminding ourselves and our neighbors that it's not hard to get a vaccination. You know, there's plenty of places to do it. We promote those locations online, and it's an important thing to do.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to know that the numbers are in the 40s and been staying there for a couple of weeks now. I know we still encourage people to practice safety measures. We still encourage people to wear masks, sanitize your hands, and even more so, you know, as the numbers start to decrease and the amount of vaccinations start to increase, we still encourage people to enjoy the outdoor green spaces in the city of Peekskill. You know, the parks are a vital part of our city. And it seems like, you know, the pandemic kind of forced us to come up with outdoor activities. But even without the pandemic, or as it starts to calm down, those outdoor activities are still available to the community. And it's nothing better than seeing your family and friends enjoying a beautiful day at the riverfront in the city of Peekskill. So,
absolutely. And not just the riverfront. You know, for example, Pugsley Park has been on my mind lately because we had a couple of applications to run some cultural events there. And the park hasn't been used for that in the past, Mayor. And for some reason we needed to do a little work to make that happen. But it's great to see some proposals coming in for music and for different kinds of activities. And we're happy to work with groups who want to host events in the parks within the health lines that we have from the state. But those numbers are growing. We're able to have larger groups. So moving forward with Pugsley Park, actually creating a permit process for that. The city council is going to hear more about that next week, actually.
Well, great news. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about that park myself, so that's good to
Yeah,
know.
I just wanted to mention that park is part of the downtown revitalization initiative proposals that I know you want to talk about today, because there was a big announcement by the state of New York. I can tell you a little bit about. I know you were at work, Mayor, and weren't able to get there. But Deputy Mayor represented you very well, Vivian McKenzie. A number of city council people were there over at the Hudson Room. The Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hochul, came. She announced the the winning proposals, adding up to about $10 million for the city of Peekskill, which it's really hard to overstate what an extraordinary accomplishment it is by your team. Coming into 2019, working with the planning department, all these business leaders to win that state prize of $10 million. And here we are today, a year or so later, that local planning committee heard proposals, selected proposals, recommended proposals to the state to fund. And now the state has actually decided what its funding decisions are.
There you go. I can't say enough how excited I am. So to make it brief and informative, if you want to just let the people know what projects were approved. There's one project I want to say, if you just allow me to say that one at the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have the whole list in front of me, but they're important projects. Okay. They range from a variety of public infrastructure improvements. You look at the gazebo in that key corner on Division Street. That intersection there is due for a major upgrade. And also, if you look at the sidewalk area in front of the Hudson Room and Fort Piano, again, expanding that, making it pedestrian friendly, making those intersections work better. I know if people try to cross the street there, in some cases there's a crossing signal, sometimes there isn't. It can be a little confusing. So those public improvements in the center of the city are just going to be just a huge benefit to anybody coming through the city who lives here, works here, walks here, drives here. It's just a major public infrastructure investment. And then more investment on the roads going down towards the waterfront. The whole idea is try to link up the amazing riverfront and the train station and that attraction the city has, and make it easier for people to come up into the central business district to participate in the civic life of the city and vice versa. So improvements to those roads, bike trails, sidewalk improvements, a whole series of art installations that will be like candy. People are just going to want to go from one to the next one straight up the hill. So those are some of and then on the private sector side, there's a range of projects, the Art Center, the Paramount Theater. It's a publicly owned building, but with important, business generating, it's a multiplier for the downtown, right? To have that place spruced up, taken care of, kind of redefined so that there's more shows of different kinds of activities and cultural events and so on. The state's putting about $1 million towards that. Just an extraordinary, going up. What are we talking about? The North Division towards Monument Park. I was talking with Councilman Fernandez at the unveiling today. How important that park is for that side of the city, and the improvements that are set for there, along with Pugsley Park. So there's a lot of great stuff on the table. It's going to be a lot of work for all of us here at City Hall, as well as people.
Yes, it certainly is. And one that I'm very excited about, proud of, and looking forward to participating and helping however I can is the Kylie Youth Center. We've been talking about this for years. A lot of people know that one of the reasons I even decided to run was because of a protest that happened in support of the Kylie Center back in 2011, 2012. And it happened again in 2013, and I just really got myself involved. But the Kylie Center is really, really coming along, and we got funding from the county going towards the Kylie Center capital improvement, and now funding from the state DRI going towards capital improvement. So the Kylie Center is going to be a gem as far as youth centers go in Westchester County, and to be able to give this to the children of our city first is a major accomplishment to me, in my opinion. And I think it's a major accomplishment to our community too. But for me, I think this is one of the greatest accomplishments to me in my career as elected official. So I'm looking forward to the entire DRI process, especially with our Paramount Theater and everything else that you mentioned. So people stay tuned, look out for more information. Thanks again to the local planning committee for participating. Every member that we appointed to that committee had definitely had great opinions and brought great elements to the table, which made the dialogue much more powerful and diverse, and of course, representative of the city of Peekskill. So, speaking of that, thanks to the governor and lieutenant governor for coming down this afternoon and sharing that information with us. So now we know what our next steps are. Thanks to our staff, Gene, and the entire planning department, building department, and everyone else. I know it's going to be a busy couple of years, but this is going to transform our city. Yeah, this is going to transform parts of our city drastically. So I think it's going to be amazing. And I also want to say some of this information, for those of you who do know, who watched the council meeting last night, I delivered my final 2021 State of the City address. And there's a lot of information in there. It's about 45 minutes long with a couple of videos from our partners that makes it about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes long. There's a lot of great information in there. And as many of you may or may not know, last year, because the pandemic hit, I didn't do an actual State of the City address. There was so much going on at the time. I didn't really feel like trying to highlight what happened the year before was a good idea when we were going through so much turmoil at the beginning of this year. So once we got through the year, now that things are starting to look up a little bit, I decided that this year, not only would I give information about how 2019 went, how 2020 went, but also how 2021 is looking to go. And the State of the City address was just last night, and just this morning we wake up to good news about our $10 million DRI. So Peekskill, the pandemic slowed us down, but it sure didn't stop us.
That's right. We're getting on our feet bit by bit for sure. Yeah. And if folks want to see that, the tape version of that State of the City, it's available on the city website. There's a link to it on Facebook, and it's easy to find. It's really comprehensive. I tell you, as a city manager, I'm always looking for people to understand some of the details of city operations. And you covered the different departments. You talked about city services, sanitation, water, sewer, the clerk's office. Everybody got a little bit of information out there about what they've done over the past year. So it's appreciated.
Absolutely, thank you. I can't say thank you enough to this staff. So it's just been a pleasure working with you all. So that news is exciting. That's all I have on my end for today, Andy. If there are any questions on the social media side, please share.
All right.
If there's anything we missed for this week.
One person asked, Andy, how are you feeling? And I got to tell you, I'm feeling absolutely wonderful. I feel like the luckiest guy alive. If you don't know, I had a terrible car accident on my birthday on April 14th. It was caused by a kind of a stroke, basically, which was a huge surprise because I've probably not eaten more than 4 or 5 Big Macs in my life. But there was an issue in my neck, and it caused a situation. And thank God for the people in the emergency responses, paramedics, the people down at Westchester Medical Center. I came out just fine, and just thrilled to be here with everybody, waking up every morning and working in the city of Peekskill. So thanks for asking. The other one is from Ocean Morissette, who I know is a close friend of yours, Mayor, and he's excited about cultural events at Pugsley Park, and he's certainly an individual who can contribute to that in a big way.
Absolutely.
Seeing his photographs all over the place.
Absolutely. Ocean's been a gem since he arrived in the city of Peekskill. So we all are, Ocean. We all are. 2021 is on the way. In 2022, I believe in the city of Peekskill is going to be an amazing, amazing year.
Yeah, we can do some things together when we work together. I guess if just a couple other little things I wanted to mention, Mayor, before we get off. One is that there will be first of all, the meeting next week, the Council of the Whole, is not on Monday. Usually it's Mondays. It's going to be on Wednesday because there's 2 religious holidays we're trying to avoid conflicting with. So it's going to be Wednesday night for those who like to tap into that and watch it on TV. And there will be a presentation by the Boys and Girls Club of Westchester talking about their vision. They're the applicant for the money that will fix up the Kiley Center. And their programs are just astounding. They're just an amazing organization across the country, really, really revered in the area of youth and family services and in education and so on. I know you talked about them a little bit in your State of the City address, so we'll get more details about programming on Wednesday night for anybody who's interested. So that presentation will be happening. People can tune in for that. The other thing I want to mention, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that, is it possible don't know if we're doing this already because I haven't checked, but the links to the meetings, those can be found on our social media page too, or just the city website currently.
So, I mean, we can publicize how to participate in the meeting. We always have it on Facebook, and we have it. Anybody can find it on the city website as well.
Okay.
So, and you can just watch it on TV. You don't need to click on anything. You just turn on your TV and watch. So, and then for people who want to comment, then during when there's comment sessions during the Common Council, then we've got the Zoom platform that people call in on that, or they can email comments before noon to the clerk, and she'll actually read them during the meeting, and we'll respond to them best as possible.
Perfect.
So folks know that the governor's emergency order suspending in-person meeting requirement is still continuing, and we don't know how long that's going to go for. But when he changes that, we'll have to go back to the council chambers and figure out a way to keep everybody safe and social distance and so on. So, but they haven't changed that yet. I just wanted to mention too, just on the utterly prosaic side, because in the city, we're about helping people out. On tomorrow is a bulk pickup day, okay, on the east side of the city. So if you've been waiting to get rid of some bulk items and furniture and other kinds of stuff, tomorrow's the day.